3. The Enlightenment. The next great cultural motive, having roots in the two previous dialectics and in the humanism of the Renaissance, came to a sharp statement in the Enlightenment. The dialectical tension was now between nature and freedom. Man was the ostensible resolution of this dialectic. In Descartes, man became the focal point of these two worlds. Various devices were used to attempt to overcome the handicap of man's previous dialectics. To avoid atomism in the natural order, the state was posited as a body created by social contract between autonomous and atomistic men. To avoid the collapse of the spiritual realm, the realm of freedom or value, the mind was credited with the creative power in the religious sense. As Doyevert has pointed out, Hobbes, in the foreword to his De Corpore, declared that the mind should first destroy the given world and then, godlike, recreate it by theoretical thought, for, according to Hobbes, logical thought should create like God or like the artist. Because the state was the creation of man, it was believed that, in a special sense, whereas by contrast the family was given and the church somewhat external to the natural realm, the state became all the more powerful, real, and natural precisely because it was man's creation in the world of nature. Likewise, in the realm of value, man was creating his own contracts, laws, and standards, and thereby asserting his autonomy. Rootlessness was conceived of as an intellectual virtue, in that the denial of the past, of history, and of God was essential to the true sovereignty and creativity of man. In Immanuel Kant, the sovereignty of this autonomous man and his reason came to full focus and hence to rapid dissolution as the dialectical tension became paramount. For him, the true self of man is identical with the law which man himself creates. Thus, man became truly sovereign, and in Kant's theoretical and practical reason, became the creator of his world and of his values. Kant sought also, as against Hume, to establish the validity of science. In the process of doing so, he also heightened the dialectical tension between nature and freedom. Indeed, a new set of expressions articulated this cultural motive. On the one hand, science and faith were seen as the two irreconcilable worlds of nature, science, and freedom, faith, and on the other, the revealing terminology that came into usage at the same time saw it as a dualism of reality and value. As science came into increasing prominence, prestige, and power with the 20th century, this dualism worked more sharply to drive a wedge between nature, science, and reality on the one hand, and freedom, faith, and value on the other. Kinsey has not been the only scientist to turn on freedom, faith, and value with all the dogged and determined scientism of the ancient cynics. The dialectic is basic to modern thought, as almost any textbook gives witness. Thus, so influential a text writer as Edwin Arthur Burt in his Principles and Problems of Right Thinking, a textbook for logic, reflective thinking, and orientation courses, 1928, devoted a central chapter introductory to his concluding section to fact versus value. But this very statement of the dialectic is its breakdown. Religion, freedom, value, morality, and law are seen as non-factual, implicitly subjective, and as merely pragmatic or relativistic. As a result of this breakdown, crisis again grips the West, already twice rescued by the entrance and revival of biblical faith. The reality which remains is either an atomistic and lawless particularity, or the undifferentiated and meaningless oneness of matter or energy in motion, in either instance hostile to value and to liberty.